Good day, good evening, Otimoi. To everyone watching, my name is Kumagobwenze from Mbokana, God's Universal Village in Gabon. I am a Mayobe Ganga, and I am here posted in Costa Rica as an extension of God's Universal Village in Gabon, working with the Western audience in introducing the correct and pure forms of BWETE spiritualism and the subsequent adaptation of IBOGA according to the spiritualism that is BWETE. So today we have finished ceremonial week for us, Gieno Anazambe, God's Universal, God's Mirror, which that means. They're there, that's the delineation of our ceremonies. And we had some great success, as always. What highlighted this and will prompt me to have this talk is how we handled that situation. Often in our work, we're here in service to, first and foremost, our spiritual father, King Adumangana, and we are invested completely. Our whole life is BWETE spiritualism, so we live and breathe this. We're not dressing up to sell retreats, right? It's not what we do. That's what the audience, the others are doing, yes, but that's not what we're doing. So first and foremost, I'm in service to King Adumangana. And secondly, our lineage, the Bobongo Pygmies, I'm here in service to exalt, sustain, and preserve their tradition of Miobe and Dusumba, according to Bobongo, because they were the ones who originate the tradition. And BWETE was given by God to the Bobongo Pygmies, and later shared with the first Bantu nation of the Mitsogos, who disseminated and moved this through Gabon and into the world today, as we know it. So we are paying homage in our work in direct service to the spirit world, because the originators are associated with the great esoterists on the Giza Plateau and the Egyptian, pre-dynastic Egyptian, which is Kemet, and their lineage. We have direct associations. So our ancestry is involved with these areas. So I want to say that our involvement here is not about us here at Ikara as an outpost in Mbokana, purely bringing people in for money. That's not what we do, because I'd like to educate people here again, and I've done this a lot, and I haven't done it a lot lately though, that everything in BWETE cannot be fractionated. There's nothing in BWETE that can be fractionated, fragmented, or divided. So what I mean by that is spiritualism is holistic, meaning it's completely whole. There cannot be any contradiction or movement. Now, if we scan around today, if someone's selling the sacrament of IBOGA, or they are selling or paid their way in Gabon to be initiated into anything, it is instantly, and get this, instantly non-BWETE, no matter what you see on television, what they say in return, and even some of these high Nema that are firmly in the pockets of the people from the West who come to extort IBOGAINE, so they are in line to serve to make money from their tradition. Even those guys should not be promoting colonialism, which is a fraction and a fragment, dividing people, because that is antithetical to the teaching of BWETE, and it further marginalized the great people, the Bobongo Pygmies. Today, we have situations where the Bobongos are marginalized by their government. The government comes to offer the youngsters Republican Guard work to remove them from their territories because logging is encroaching in on their forestry land of Dibois, the heartland of Gabon. As a result, left behind in Dibois, in these territories, which we take care of from our operation here, we feed 3,000 Bobongo Pygmies through our devotion to the spirit that is Zambekana and the tradition of Bobongo BWETE. Those, we feed them from here. So what's left behind are middle-aged and elderly Bobongo Pygmies as the youngsters are moved away to merge more with the Bantu nations and into the more developed areas, and subsequently start to drink alcohol and leave behind their tradition. Now, within our tradition, without going into this deeply, is the complete understanding, unbroken, of how to live in unification starting from the genesis of self, masculine and feminine energies, with your environment at large, to understand that we are inseparable and that God is this spiritualism. Spiritualism comes about through holism. What spiritualism is holism. You cannot be spiritual and pay your way to be a supposed Ganga or Nima in the West and be an artist or have other jobs and not live in a village or be part of a whole community, not a fractionated community that turns up when the Westerners are arriving and brings in people to come and dance around for the ceremony and go home. BWETE and being a Ganga is only 1/10 of that represents ceremony. To be a Ganga is to live completely, eternally, and is only as good as your last breath, in constancy of ever-changing flux, without thought, without greed, without envy, without hate, without guilt. And what's overseen is that ability to actually draw the silent mind. From the silent mind we can see and hear nature, and we can realize that we're inseparable. Only then can we be the intermediary that is a Ganga. And if we change that from one day to the next, we are not a Ganga the next day we don't act that way. You cannot just hold your Ganga title when you're constantly flipping around between the two positions. So further to this, we have a world full and saturated of people selling iboga and using the BWETE name to make authenticity out of this. Now, I'd like to tell people this. If these people are saying they're a Masoko provider, they are instantly non-BWETE. There is no such thing as a provider in this tradition. There is only a Ganga who was earned through great visionary ability and adeptness to have the silent mind, of which I just talked about. Can he even be considered to have the responsibility of actually serving iboga? And when that happens, it cannot be sold. So people will be asking now, okay, what do you do in Mboka and Zambi? Well, we are non-for-profit, and everybody's non-for-profit nowadays, so we should always study that, because these people wash their money through non-for-profit and hide behind supposed good intentions when they're actually extorting from the people who are allowing them to have the non-for-profit. The non-for-profit which we are is run by King Adamangana and my brother and sister Vokonavoko and Digembu as secretaries for the NGO. The money that we make here is instantly appropriated and must be, according to BWETE spiritualism, away from us and disseminated and given throughout the Babongo territories to the people who originate our very tradition, and given to our village to sustain our work as a Reformation centre and a hospice, Le Don de Vie, Gift of Life Hospital, to actually serve Zambekana and God, to allow individuals to experience a true holistic healing and align themselves with the centre of the planet today, which is Gabon, and to truly know and start to understand this incredibly deep and profound tradition, of which is only being promoted in such watered down forms in the West. There isn't any outlet anywhere in the West that is promoting the Puritan form of BWETE. In Mboka and Zambi, we are renowned in the West, and we are renowned throughout the whole of Gabon as being the purest form of BWETE available, even by those other forms that are deviant that might not respect or like us. They will always be the first to admit such a thing. Now we're here, we are reforming people who have been victims of witchcraft. Yes, so through BWETE. So I want people to understand that the forms of BWETE you're seeing in the West are not Masoko, straight as they're labeled. They are Gonde, Nadapuma, Gonde Besuka, and Asangiria. These are deviant forms that are not to do with the originating factions of Myobe and Dusumba. These forms have assumed an authority in the West over iboga and promote false information to do with its heritage and information, and further fractionalize and divide, which is against, once again, BWETE spiritualism must be whole. These people hide behind the title that they pay for, which instantly severs their connection to BWETE, so they can have a title to sell iboga. Now today you have people like Blessings of the Forest, and you have these people in Tatayo, Ibando and things hiding behind, once again, the NGO that promotes the sustainability of iboga. Now I want people to understand something here. That is nothing to do with BWETE, because BWETE cannot sell iboga, and it cannot further extort a culture, like their grandparents did, the French. Have a look at these guys, French, American, Canadian. These people have been at the forefront of suppressing sub-Saharan Africa through colonial movement, their grandparents, their grandparents. And here they are today doing the same thing with entheogenics, with the plant of iboga, coming in, promising money to very, very desperate people that they'd give them back money to plant iboga, so they can then rally the government, who's been overthrown, by the way, Ali Bongo's regime, rally this government, because they're all in line to make money, right? So they can actually have a get out of jail free card to promote iboga sales to IBOGAINE, to fix the opioid crisis in America, which was created by the American government. Now there's tailings from all of these people all the way through. So the people who are promoting this, smiling assassins there with blessings of the forest, are involved with research companies, psychedelic movements, ibogaine clinics, and ibogaine manufacturing plants. Now the environmental impact of extorting iboga from Gabon, which is not their right, this plant is not theirs. The guardians of the plant are the Babongo Pygmies, and BWETE own this plant. They have put Nima and people from other factions of BWETE as their poster boys, who are on the taking money to say, yes, BWETE must reach the world, yes, BWETE must do this. At whose expense? Because everybody watching this, if you have any interest, unless you're living in Gabon, part-time minimal like us, and understanding what's going on in the ground, everything you're hearing in the West is complete bullshit. It's just a fact, and I'm here to expose that. If we're truly interested in protecting and preserving indigenous right, we all are. If we're interested in iboga, we're all interested in elevating our indigenous in our local areas. So before you come to iboga, you should ask some serious questions. And here at Mboka Nzambwe, we are educational. Our work to do with helping Westerners be introduced to something like iboga is secondary to the brotherhood of man and unity of which BWETE promotes. And that's why we're here. So we're here in that frame. I am in service to the Babongo people. I'm on my knees to them. And I'm on my knees to His Majesty King Adamogana for this incredible vision. This is a lifelong devotion, not a part-time job that we use as a title to actually sell and extort tradition. And whether these people in the West today with these retreat centers think that they're doing that or not, doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because they are doing it. Doesn't matter whether they think they are or not. They're doing it. And are they giving all of their money to the village? Oh yeah, we give money. They'll all tell you, yeah, we give money to our village so they can drive a new Land Cruiser and build a little village. But that's not a village. That's not true BWETE. These people don't live in those villages permanently, right? Living according to the tradition of BWETE. They're living according to money. That is not BWETE. Drinking, debauchery, no, that's not BWETE. There's no form existing out there outside of Mboka Nzambwe, and we want to change this, that is actually giving the true, pure form according to His Majesty. So this is often an urgent transmission because we're trying to really put this out there so people can decide. We're not putting this out there to challenge. There is no challenge. What I'm talking is the truth, period. It's not up for debate. And they know that. Everyone knows that. I'm saying that this has to be put out there so people can say, okay, this sounds for me because I'd like to contribute back to the people who give me the very ability to eat iboga, and I want to do this ethically and with some morality of self. Or I just want to go to a retreat and have iboga and fix my particular problems and not understand any of the BWETE spiritualism, because those places aren't imparting any knowledge. And I treat, in the last 6 months, 10 different people that have been to other retreats, right? And they all come back with minimal knowledge. Why would they be coming to us if they've learned something? They're left confused because the people offering it are not educated in the true BWETE spiritualism, because to be educated in it, you must live and breathe every moment of the day, working upon the self, watching every single thought, and converging and merging with the environment around you by ingesting iboga. And this is the only way to live as Ganga. So I want to send our love and gratitude once again to the great Babongos. We do know, and Mother Africa. We want to send our deep messages to all African traditions of spiritualism as well, because Africa will rise again. It will be the only place left. In the prophecies, we understand this to be true. So everyone needs to actually understand that their ancestry is first carbon, is melanated. That is the truth. White, black, pink, or red. That's where we come from. All of us. So stop dividing yourselves in ridiculous divisions of he's white, I'm pink, you're red. That has to stop. We're here to promote unity, complete binding and overthrowing of anything divisive, because that is BWETE. We run one color inside. We are one people, one mind. So we must get back to this. And this is what our work does here at IBOGAINE, unifies the individual into the new perspective and realization of what cannot be described, that the individual discovers that they've always been them, that they'll always be them, and that they are everything around them which is them. And that's what we strive to do. So thank you for the Babongo First Nations. Thank you, my lovely family in IBOGAINE, my brothers and sisters, for which I love very dearly and hold deep gratitude for your love and support. His Majesty King Adamangana VO, and I send my deep love and respect here. So may everybody have a blessed day.